Hello, hello, hello. We're live here. Come on, people, let's get into it. We're waiting for some people to get into this live session so we can answer those questions. Come on, folks. Life is going, it's going. Life is going on. Yeah, we got people. Hello, hello, Pina Pina. Hello, dear. Hello, Pina. How are you? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. What is your question? We're answering questions today. We have subjects, but we gotta just go ahead and start answering questions. What about essential worker come after 2011? Well, in this plan C, unfortunately, my friends, unfortunately, my friends, really must have been in the US before 2011. So that's the language, unless they change it, but they haven't done so. So that's the question. So basically, if you're an essential worker and came after 2011, in this plan C, the BBB, the Build Better Act, there's nothing for essential worker who came after 2011. Okay, I hope I answer your question. Yeah, I'm very hopeful. If you overstudy and university educated, what can you offer to us? Okay. Well, first of all, if you overstay the visa, right, and you have a degree, let's say, for example, you get employment, HB1 type of employment, but the problem becomes because you overstay your visa, you have unlawful presence in the US. So you must have a qualifying relative in order for you to apply for a waiver and in order for USCIS to forgive you. So qualifying relative should be parent, child, or spouse who's a US citizen. At that point, you can apply for the form I-601A or I-601. I-601A is you have to get out once the form is approved, and then I just pretty much use your approved petition to adjust status. So if you don't have it, a qualifying relative, pretty much it's a dead end at that point. What's going on with the Plan C? Yes, Miss Nelsley. Well, we're still waiting for this coming week. That's when they're supposed to be voting on that Plan C. That they didn't give us a specific date as to when they are going to vote on that Plan C. So we're hoping this week they're gonna go back and start talking. How is asylum case going? My friend, asylum case from 2014 to 2000, I believe 19, is stuck. They're calling people since 2019 to now. They are calling at least for interviews. But between 2014 and 2019, my friend, those cases are just stuck there. Okay, I have a friend who filed an adjustment of status. Not initially in place, immigration court will be issued in the card. Who fell. Well, first of all, the adjustment of status, you have to know why it was denied, right? And then if you are in place in removal proceeding, then the judge has to decide. So your friend is not going to get a work permit until the judge make a decision on the case. Last generation, yes, those bans are still in place. Oh, yeah, Ngwandaesq. So basically, you need to call them. If you have a renewal work of authorization application pending, and they sent you a letter with that 6 months pretty much telling you that it's automatically has been renewed, and then the 6 months has passed, you still haven't gotten your cards yet, you need to call them, because that 6 months period really it's about making sure that even if you haven't received your physical work authorization, but at least you have a letter because the case is pending for renewal of work authorization, then you can still work. I hope I understood your question, Giwa. Oh, Morris Joseph, is waiver automatic with Plan C? Well, in the Plan C, they said that certain inadmissibility issue will not be granted waiver, especially crimes. Felony crimes will not be granted waiver. So the one that is automatic because they're giving parole, so unlawful presence is pretty much automatic because it's parole, right? They're forgiving that unlawful presence, and parole is pretty much permission to enter. In that case, it will be permission to stay. So unlawful presence is pretty much automatic at that point. But if somebody has a crime, some type of felonies, Plan C is saying that, well, they're not going to do anything about it. So it says, I'm in removal proceeding for losing my asylum in 2004. I have no criminal. Yeah, if you don't have any criminal record, Morris Joseph, you should be fine. It's just about unlawful presence. If the Plan C passed, then you have your parole and your work permit. So, but again, if the plan passes, then you still have to apply for it. Silver Papa, I have an H-1B before, but already expired. Can I renew it if there is a company who's willing to sponsor you? You can renew it if there is a company that's willing to sponsor you. But the thing is, how long that the expiration? Because the new company, you should have had the application with the new company when that H-1B was still effective, because now you have the problem of unlawful presence. So if you have somebody else giving you, sponsoring you, so now are you admissible because of that unlawful presence? Then we go back to the question of waiver. Do you have any qualifying relative so that they can waive that unlawful presence for you? So Sylvester Mappa, that's my answer. Hello, why they choose the date 2011 or the Plan C, and about those who came after? Alice Kambu. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know why those Democrats are choosing whatever they want to choose. That's just how politicians are, you know. Or they promise something and now they're coming with something else. The question was, because it's budget reconciliation, that Senate parliamentarian rejected Plan A, rejected Plan B, because according to her, it does not fit the budget. But remember that those Democrats, they have the option to refuse that ruling and go with a presiding officer so that they can just overrule her and go with whatever they can go with. But they don't want to go with that. They just want to make sure that they abide by those Senate rule, which they don't have to. We really we have talked about those issues before. So to answer that question, really, we don't know why. Togala, I have a question. Then apply for asylum. Has work permit. So what are your chance? Togala, your chance of what? If the asylum case get approved, then after 1 year, you can adjust status. But let's say this Plan C passes. Now the question becomes, when did you get in the US? If you got to the US before 2011, then you'll be included in that Plan C. I stayed 3 months. Now they not renew my visa. How long can I wait to get back? You ever stayed 3 months? The moment you ever stay 3 months after your visa, if you get out, you have a 3 years ban. So, Alfred, now the question is, do you have any qualifying relative here? And do you have any petition pending so that you can apply for a waiver? So the moment you ever stay the visa, that's it. That's it. 3 months. If you get out, you have a 3 years ban. Mr. Task, I failed for unless you want to apply for, let's say, unless you want to apply for asylum, you want to apply for, if you want to apply for asylum or you get married, I don't know your situation, but to answer your question, if you overstay for 3 months, if you get out with no actions, so you'll be banned from entering the US for 3 years. I feel missed the task. I received my AD, but my study says, how soon will you be to get your interview? Missed the task. I can't predict that. Nowadays they're going a little faster, right? Maybe 2 months from now, because we had a case where we filed in March, we had an interview in November. Okay, last week, actually this week, November 10. So it just depends. But remember, that person already had the I-130 approved before. So if we really look at the time from the time we filed for I-485 to the time they called that person for interview, it's about 7 months. So will those who apply for asylum in 2018 benefit from Plan C? The question is, those people, deep post guy dash. Those people, the question really is, when did the person enter the US? Because we have a cutoff date of 2011, before 2011. It doesn't matter when you file for asylum. As long as you got here before 2011, well, then you're part of the plan. No, Bijoux, no, the cutoff date as of today is still 2011. Togola, unfortunately, 2011. What is SAP for asylum? What do you mean, Baven? What do you mean SAP for asylum? Can you rephrase your question? Sponsor. Morris Joseph, Plan C is not for residency. It's parole. It's pretty much like a visa, like, you know how TPS people, holders, that type of status. You have a work permit for 5 years and a travel document. Really, there's no option for residency. Residency means green card with Plan C. But if you have a 22 years old who is a US citizen who works, then they can file for you a petition for you using the form I-130. You know? Oh, Togala, you're welcome. Sylvester Mappa, what do you mean by qualifying relative? Well, qualifying relative is what they mean. That's the immigration law. What they mean is qualifying relative is either your parent, spouse, or a child. And the qualifying relative must be either US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. That's why they mean by qualifying. In order for somebody to qualify as your relative, they have to be either your parent, your spouse, or your child. But in the context of waiver, those people must have either a US citizen, a SHIP, or must be a green card holders. Nilsa, can you please tell more about national interest waiver for who's overstayed a visa? Well, national interest waiver, you know that, right? So basically requesting a green card on your own based on your qualifications must first of all have a higher education or bachelor plus 5 years of experience, and then demonstrate to the US government that, well, they can give you your green card on your own because you meet those qualifications. But the question that you're asking, especially when it comes to waivers, is like, well, let's say you apply for that NIW, national interest waiver, and your petition gets approved. So now you move to the stage of adjusting status. But in order for you to adjust status in the US, you must be found admissible. In order for you to adjust status outside of the US, you must be found also admissible. So meaning you enter with permission, like parole or inspected, then you're lawfully present. If you don't have, and no crimes, right? If you don't have those qualifications, then they find you inadmissible. So in order for you to apply for a waiver, you must have a qualifying relative, then tell them, well, please forgive my unlawful presence, but I can't go outside of the US because I have a parent, US citizen here, I have children here, or I have a spouse, and if I go out, it's gonna create extreme hardship. So that's how it works. But if you don't have none of that, if you have an approved petition, which national interest waiver petition approved, and you find yourself overstayed a visa, so basically unlawfully present, and you don't have no qualifying relative, it's like a dead end. What are you going to do? If you get out, depending on how long you stay here unlawfully, then you have a bar. So pretty much a dead end. Are they going to know the people who came after? It looks like it. Yasin, it looks like it with this plan C, unless they change something, but it looks like it. So you got TPS, and your brother applied for you for US citizenship, apply for you for a green card. First of all, sibling petitions takes forever. It's going to take at least 10 to 16 years to get an approval. So if you get that approval, if you're outside, then you can come back, right? And apply for adjustment of status, consular processing from outside if you're outside, Shimid. Can someone with a green card apply for someone without a status? Abraham, your question is vague. It depends on the relationship. If that person is a spouse, yes, they can apply. If the person is a parent, yes, they can apply. But if the person is a child, they cannot apply for the parent unless they're a US citizen. So if you marry a green card holder, what are the chances to get a green card? If you marry a green card holder, the chances are you get a green card if your marriage is valid, okay? Togola, marriage must be entered in good faith, meaning that you get into the marriage for the purpose of staying there, love, and you have to be able to prove it. You can't just get married to just get the paper. No, marriage must be a valid marriage. And if you refer back to my other previous video, you find out what we mean by valid marriage. I will strongly suggest that you really refer back to my previous videos so you know for sure what is valid marriage. Okay, if my sister does this, apply for how long does it take? Oh yeah, you get that process takes no less than 10 years. So it takes between 10 years and 16 years. Sibling petitions take long time. We're hoping that they keep telling us that they are going to change the law, but until now they haven't changed anything. So it really takes a long time. Who granted prosecutorial discretion travel outside of the US? First of all, you granted prosecutorial discretion because why? If somebody has been granted prosecutorial discretion, it's because they drop the charges, right? They stop the proceedings, or pretty much terminated the proceeding because maybe the person wants to adjust status or do something else. So now, by the time the person wants to go outside of the US, you have to look at yourself and say, what type of status do I have? If you have no status and get out, dead end, that's it. It's over. In order to come back, you have to reapply again. Duran, hello, Duran. Bernard, how are you? Can I ask for my green card? What do you mean? Can you ask for your green card? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh yeah, Togola, if it's serious marriage, go ahead and get married and then apply for your green card. And really, there are steps to take and documentation that need to be provided. We've talked about it in previous videos. If it's a serious marriage, please go ahead and get married. Most of the time, people who get married, they get forgiven for unlawful presence, unless you have some other criminal issues. But if you have no criminal issues, just unlawfully being present, pretty much just unlawful presence, well, with marriage, that will cover it. You know, that's exception when it comes to unlawful presence. Passing time, I have been waiting for 16 months. Well, Joseph, Kisa Joseph, you've been waiting for 16 months. Can you talk to them? Or can you try to expedite your request? Because if you've been waiting for 16 months, you have to know why. And I-730 it's an asylum type of petition for beneficiary. And if they're still there, the things that you were fearing of persecution can go back to them. So you need to try to expedite your request. We've talked about expedited requests before too. If you just Google expedited request with USCIS, you find the reason, the procedure on how to expedite your request. Thank you, Miss. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Task. You're welcome. Oh, that was appeal. Okay, and that was to expedite. Oh, you apply for Bernard. So basically, you apply for a green card, you appeal for the green card, and it was denied. So we have to know why the green card was denied. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to answer that question, you know. So we have to first of all know why the green card was denied and the reason why you went on appeal. So that's it. That's about it. Oh, reckless driving. Oh, I see. So pretty much your green card was denied based on they found yourself inadmissible. Did you try the waiver? Try to ask for forgiveness? Bernard, have you tried asking for forgiveness and see if where that one will lead you? So you try a waiver and the waiver was denied as well? Yeah, so if you go all the way to appeal in immigration court, wow, if you went to immigration court or you haven't tried the waiver, so if a judge denies your case, right, usually it goes to the Immigration Board of Appeal in order for you to appeal. If you miss that opportunity to appeal, then the only chance you have is to try to reopen the case with new facts. If there are procedure on the reason why somebody can reopen the case. And if you try to reopen the case and they get denied, then it's like dead end. Unless you have a different type of petition you want to file, then you can go ahead and file. So yeah, that's the bad thing with if you go to the dead end, really you have to find out if you can reopen the case with new facts. If you have those new facts, there are standard on why a person can reopen a case. Brima Quatara. Well, in order to apply for a social security, you have to have a basis for it. what type of application are you filing? If you overstay your visa, are you filing for asylum? Are you filing for anything? Marriage? Anything? Then you have the opportunity to apply for a green card. Otherwise, there's really no basis for you to apply for a green card. If it was denied in December, why you didn't appeal it? That's the question. If you appeal and it get denied, then unless you have another type of petition you want to file, because it's like a dead end, or you want to go to federal court because you feel like they didn't do a good they didn't make a good decision, Berman. So your case, really, you have to do a case assessment because you're asking me random questions. Come on, people, let's get with more questions. More questions, folks. We're here to answer those immigration questions. I'm gonna drink some water, sorry. We're here to answer those immigration questions. Okay. We have Subani. Okay. I have high school and I got for vacation 20 course. In Canada, we're not talking about Canada immigration here. Subani, we're talking about US immigration, not Canada. I have no idea how it works in Canada. None whatsoever. Well, Lewis. Lewis, go to uscis.gov processing time and type I-730 processing time. It actually gives you a time frame, and it actually gives you where they currently stand. It can take up to 16 months, right? But you have to be able to keep pushing. Traffic violation, like what? Mr. Task, did you get like a DUI, like driving under influence of alcohol? Oh yeah, that can prevent you. But if it's just a ticket, it's minor offense. It really has little bearing on that green card decision. Oh, you waiting for the appeal. Oh, you might. It has been 254 days. Appeal can take up to 6 months. Bernard Duran appeal, they have a period of 6 months. If you already have 254 days without answer, then you should call them or write to them, because the appeal can only do 180 days. Reckless driving and fight authority. Oh Lord, why did you get into a fight? Did you fight like a police officer? Oh, that would be a little difficult. That's difficult for them to approve your green card. The latest in immigration news Bijoux, Bijoux, that we're waiting for next week. Maybe the House Democrat will vote on Plan C. And the Plan C does not include people who came in 2012. Unfortunately, you're out. That's the reality as of today. The things may change, but as of today, must have been in the US since 2000, before 2011, actually. Aziz Oloyi, prosecutorial discretion, when people use it, it's because they have a plan B. So, for example, let's say you want to ask prosecutorial discretion, it means you want your removal proceeding to be terminated, but you have to have a reason why you want them to terminate the removal proceedings. It's because maybe you want to adjust status because you have a child over 21 years old who want to file for you, or maybe they already filed for you and you have an approved I-130, so you're telling ICE, please terminate those proceedings, use your prosecutorial discretion, drop those charges so I can adjust status. Also, I can get married. So that's the reason for prosecutorial discretion. You just don't go there and say, oh, use your prosecutorial discretion. No, you got to have a plan B. Your AD has, so you, Bernard, if you're still working, you're still going to work until that appeal decision gets here. But if they terminated the appeal, the AD, then they're not going to renew it until they're waiting for that appeal decision. That's how it works. Hadi, yes, you've been here for 2000 years. You will be part of the Plan C if it passes. Donna, if the Plan C passes, you'll be part of it. That's good. Bernard, your story is all over the place. So it's pretty much difficult for me to answer your questions because we don't know the beginning, we don't know the end. So what I'm saying is if you are on appeal and the appeal has taken too long, you need to call them or email them or mail them, try begging them to know what's going on with that decision. And in the meantime, if you have a work permit, most of the time you must continue to work. But sometimes if they already terminated your work permit, then you're not going to work until the appeal decision has been given. So that's it. That's what I can say about your case. Okay, folks, 30 minutes. I guess we're wrapping up now. Almost there. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Bernard, you need to do a case assessment because your case is all over the place. So thank you for coming. Thank you for bearing with me. We try to answer those questions as much as we can. Remember that when we do live, is to answer general questions. And if you have specific questions, that's when you consult, you pay your consultation fees, you consult about your specific question about your case. Then we have time to go through a case assessment and do it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bernard, of course, we want you to win. Nobody is there to want you to lose, right? I'm on your side here, okay? So we want you to win your case. I don't know your case that well to determine whether the state is stealing you. I don't know your case, Bernard. So I can't answer that question. So thank you very much, folks. Until next time, bye. Bye-bye. Until next time. So if you have more questions, leave in the comments below for parliamentarians to say so. Well, about this reconciliation bill, my friend, we just have to wait until the end of this year. That's when we will know for sure, because in October, we didn't make it. In September, we didn't make it. They didn't make it, nothing. So we're waiting until the end of this year. Because we know under Trump, budget reconciliation didn't go on until December 27. So we still have a chance to have this immigration provision included in the reconciliation package. Okay, we got 2 months, so time is still on our side. So we need to keep hoping and pushing until we get something, at least at least the Plan C. So some people will get parole and can go back home and visit their family. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you have overstayed your visiting visa, oh, my office is in DC. Go to the description box in my YouTube channel, Washington, DC. You have overstay your visa, visiting visa, green card is issued in your country. Or you overstay the visa First of all, now you become unlawfully present. So in order for you to adjust status inside, you must have a qualifying relative. It's so tricky, right? And if you don't have a qualifying relative, you get out. Depending on how long you overstay your visa, you have a bar. So it's pretty much a dead end if you do not have a qualifying relative. So at the BC, the real question is, when did you get to the US? People who would benefit from Plan C are people who came to the US before 2011. So if the answer is yes, then you will benefit from it. Bernard, if they haven't terminated your work permit, then of course you'll be working. Oh, if you want to come to the US, you have to have like a sponsor, right? If you find a job here, somebody want to sponsor you, Subani, a company that wants to sponsor you, then you ask them to sponsor you so you can apply for visa. That's the answer for that one. So you have to find a sponsor, an employer, Subani. Donna, yes, if you were here before 2011 and Plan C gets here, then you'll be qualified, unless the person has serious criminal issues. Okay, folks, we're handing 36 minutes. I think we're done. You already have your parole and AD, but the one that they're giving is 5 years, okay? 5 years, renewable for another 5 years. Nijo, depending on why you want to reopen your case, you have to have a valid reason why you're reopening your case. Okay, folks, until next time. We talked a lot, 37 minutes. We can only do what we can, general questions, okay? Really, thank you for coming. And if you have more questions or comment, please don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and please don't forget to share with your friend, okay? Please go ahead and start sharing with your friends so that we can get to 20,000 subscribers, okay? And I'll be here doing live sessions once in a while to get your pretty much your questions, answers, and stuff like that. Okay. Last question, Bernard. Bernard, you need to stop with your question. Your questions all over the place. You have to really have a consultation and pay consultation fees, because you're telling the story all over the place. It's difficult for me to answer, and your story is so specific, so you can't get an answer here. Bye-bye. Until next time. Bye.